Hello, Cornerstone friends. This is Mr. Matt from Classroom 6, coming to you from Classroom 6. And today we're going to be talking about work attitudes. You know, how to interact at work, what to say to the boss, what to say to each other. Okay, so stand by. All right. So we have some scenarios here. Okay. And we're going to read through them. All right, so work attitude. Scenario 1. Stay home if you don't feel well. Actors, Nancy, and the boss. And it starts off with the boss saying, "Good morning, Nancy. How are you today?" Nancy says, "I'm okay, I guess." "You don't look too well, Nancy. Are you sick?" "I don't know. I've been coughing all night and I feel warm." And the boss steps back. He steps back away from Nancy because he doesn't want to get sick. And he says, "I am sorry you don't feel well, Nancy, but it's important for you to stay home until you feel better." And then Nancy says, "Oh, I can just take some medicine. I don't want to miss work." "I know you are really busy already." And then the boss says, "I appreciate you thinking about that. However, it is not safe for you to come to work when you are coughing. Please go home and feel better, Nancy." And then Nancy says, "Okay, I'm sorry." And then the boss says, "It's okay. We need you to be healthy so you can come back to work soon." "Thank you, boss," says Nancy. Alrighty then. Now let's just answer some comprehension questions. What is the problem? Okay, so the problem is that Nancy came to work when she was sick. So Nancy came to work and she was sick. And why is that a problem? She can make others sick and she can become more sick by working. Her cold or her flu or whatever might get worse. So what is the problem? The problem is that Nancy came to work when she was sick. She can make others sick, and she can become more sick by working. So you don't want to go to work when you're sick because you have to be careful of other people. You have to think about other people, and you also have to take care of yourself. So what needs to be fixed? Nancy, needs to go home and get well. All right. Oh, okay, actually, let me fix that. Okay, what needs to be fixed? Nancy's health. Nancy needs to be in better health. How can this problem be fixed? Nancy needs to go home and get well. Let me put these answers in bold so we can see them a little better. All right. Okay. What will happen if the problem is not fixed? As we said before, co-workers. Nancy might become more sick, even more sick. And her co-workers might get sick as well. And we certainly don't want that. Okay, so now we go on to scenario number 2. Okay, scenario number 2. Plan to get to work on time. Actors, Christy and Donna. And Christy starts by saying, I am so upset! And Donna says, what happened? And then Christy says, I was running errands and I missed my bus this morning and now I'm getting to work an hour late. And then Donna says, well, that is frustrating, but you need to calm down. It's not good to act like this at work. And then Christy starts to cry. I know, but I can't. And then Donna says, slow down. Count to 10. Take some deep breaths. I'll try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, did you tell the boss what happened? No, not yet. I don't want to be in trouble. When you calm down, you need to talk to him. It is better to be honest. You are right. I need to talk to the boss calmly and apologize. Good idea. You also need to think about what you will do next time. You mean like ask my mom for a ride? Not exactly. It sounds like you need to plan better for your transportation. True, I should plan to run my errands after work and get to my bus on time so that it... True, I should plan to run my errands after work and get to my bus on time so this won't happen again. Right. You got this, Christy. Go talk to the boss. Tell him what happened and how you won't let it happen again. Okay, thanks, Donna. No problem. Everybody should have a friend like Donna. Okay, so what is the problem? Christy, whoops. Is late for work. What needs to be fixed? Okay. Let's see, what needs to be fixed? I see. All right, so Christy was late because she did her errands before work. Okay. And so that's bad planning or bad scheduling. So what needs to be fixed? Christie's scheduling or just schedule. Okay. How can this problem be fixed? Christy needs to schedule her errands. Errands are things that you have to do, like going and paying the bills, maybe picking up things from the grocery store or the pharmacy or whatever. Christy needs to schedule or plan her errands for after work. What will happen if this problem is not fixed? Oops. Okay, so if this problem is not fixed, Christy may get in trouble and lose her job. Okay, so she has to be careful. Okay. Alrighty then. Now we shall go to the law scenario. Scenario number 3, treat co-workers with respect, starring Joe, Jen, and Nancy. Okay, it starts off with Nancy saying, Joe, you look upset. What's wrong? Jen is just so demanding. It's her job to tell us what to do, Joe. She is the new team leader. I know that. It's just the way she says things. We were co-workers for a long time. Let's remind her how she liked to be treated before she was in charge. You're right. And Joe looks happier. Oops, okay. So, Joe and Nancy get together. Jen, can we speak to you? And Jen says, I guess so. Well, Joe and I were just talking, and we sometimes feel that the way you say things to us is not very friendly. Oh, really? Jen says. And then Joe says, yes, sometimes when you ask for things, you can be demanding. And then Nancy says, when we worked together as co-workers, I know you liked when people were friendly to you. And then Nancy says, you are both right. I do like to be treated with respect. I should be more friendly and treat you how I want to be treated. And then Joe says, thank you, Jen. I am glad you told me, says Jen. I know that wasn't easy. I will do my best to treat you better. Alrighty. So what is the problem? The problem is that Joe and Nancy feel that Jen, who is their new supervisor, which is kind of like a boss, is being too demanding, well, with them. Or maybe she's just not being nice. She's not being nice. Okay, so the problem is that Joe and Nancy feel that Jen, who is their new supervisor, is not being nice to them. Okay, so what needs to be fixed? Well, the problem is that Joe and Nancy, well, I guess the way they interact with each other needs to be fixed. You know, the way they talk to each other needs to be fixed. Okay, so the way they talk to each other needs to be fixed. And how can this problem be fixed? By talking. In this case, by talking it over. Talking it over and coming to an agreement. Oops, spelled that wrong. So hard to type on a laptop keyboard. Alright. By talking it over and coming to an agreement. What will happen if this problem is not fixed? Well, Joe and Nancy may continue to be frustrated. And that doesn't make for a good work environment. So Joe and Nancy may continue to be frustrated, and that does not make for a nice workplace. So what will happen if the problem is not fixed? Joe and Nancy may continue to be frustrated, and that does not make for a nice workplace. Okay, so we have seen, how to interact at work, all right? We've seen different scenarios and how to handle things so that when you go to work, you'll be able to handle things the right way too. All right, well, thank you for your time, Cornerstone friends, and stay tuned. Okay, now I'm going to read you a story. And this story is called Community Helpers, Mail Carriers. All right, and this is written and illustrated by Travis Schaefer. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay, Carla is learning about community helpers. Today she will visit a post office. Community helpers work in a post office. Alrighty. Let me zoom out some more. Thank you for your patience. Page 2. Carla carries a letter to her mailbox. She lifts the red flag and puts her letter in the mailbox. Carla is sending a letter to her grandma. Okay, so when you want them to pick up the mail out of your mailbox, you put the red flag up. That's what that little flag is for. Okay. All right, whoops. Carla sees a white truck stop at her mailbox. It's a mail truck. Mail trucks pick up and deliver mail around her town. The mail truck stops in front of a building. A person wearing a blue hat and uniform gets out. He has a big brown bag filled with mail. He is a mail carrier. The mail carrier goes into the building. He puts mail into a bin. The building has many bins of mail. It is a post office. Alrighty then. Carla sees her letter. It is placed into a bin named Out of Town. Carla's grandma lives out of town. Carla's letter is sent from her post office to her grandma's post office. Most towns have a post office. A mail carrier delivers the letter to Carla's grandma. The letter is put into her mailbox. And you see the flag is down when you're just receiving mail. You put it up when you want to send a letter. Carla is happy. Her grandma is happy too. Mail carriers help the community. They send and deliver mail. Thank you, mail carriers. Unsung heroes. The end. Okay, Cornerstone friends, next we shall have the song. Stay tuned. Now it's time for the song. I picked this song by Creedence Clearwater Revival because it mentions work. And I'm going to keep looking off to that way because that's where I could see the lyrics. I left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost a minute of sleeping, worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheel keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis, Pumped a lot of gas down in New Orleans, but I never saw the good side of the city till I hitched a ride on the riverboat Queen. Big wheel keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning. Rolling, oh Lord, rolling, oh Lord, rolling on the river. If you go down to the river, bet you're gonna find some people who live. You don't have to worry how you have no money. People on the river are happy to give. Big wheel keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning. Rolling, oh Lord, rolling, oh Lord, rolling on the river. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Thank you very much.